Hi, how are you today? This is Auntie Nat's Crochet. Glad you chose this tutorial video. Do subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is at this corner over here. It will mean a lot to me. I have hundreds over videos, so do check them out. And today I'm gonna make a batik bag. This is my batik version. Let me show you the type of yarn that I would need to use. These are 8-ply cotton yarn. You can use other type of yarn as well, but I prefer this one because it's soft, easy to work with, and it's nice for bags. These are 8-ply cotton yarn, and let me get where is there? It looks like this, where you have 8 strands together. So I'm gonna make it into 2 different sets. One is purple with this beige, light beige I guess, and I'm going to use 6.0 mm hook. So this is how the pattern look like. It's a batik pattern. This is the one with purple and this you call it beige or peach. When I bought this, is like kind of what, skin color. And I make another one in black, purple and black. Actually it's not black, it's dark blue. So purple goes well with dark blue, and purple goes well with this color. So I made 2 versions, then I'm gonna join it up and made it into a bag. But for this particular video, I'm just showing you how to come up with this pattern, how to do this tapestry crochet. The PDF file for this pattern, I will share it in the description box below. You can download it. So this particular video, I'm just going to show you the first few rows, like what are the do's and don'ts, and the rest you just follow the PDF file. Especially for beginners that you have never tried doing stuff like this, you know how to change color. So I'll just show you that first few rows, and then the rest it's just reading the chart, the PDF chart. If it says change color, then you just change color. Sometimes that's get a bit confused, especially for beginners, because you're not sure when to change to what color. I'll show you what I mean later on when we start. So I'm gonna make 4 of this rectangle shape and later form it into a bag. Okay? But for this particular video, it's all about this batik tapestry crochet. Okay, now let the fun begin. I got myself one of this rack, so you just poke the stick in between, and you just hang it here, and when I need the color, I just pull, and if it gets tangled, it's just this part. Only this part get tangled, and this one won't get messed up, and it won't fall off the basket or the table. I used to leave this all on the table or the basket, so when I pull, it will kind of get tangled at the back, and it will fall off. So here, when it gets tangled, I will show you how you just flip your crochet piece every once in a while, and you'll be fine, and it won't get tangled. Okay, before I start, let me show you how the front and the back look like. So the number of yarn is the same. You're gonna need, for this rectangle piece like this, you need I think 3/4 of this. I still have a bit left for both yarn. And for this piece, in case you want to know how wide it is, it's about 7 inches. or 18 centimeter width, and the length should be about 20.5, if you want to know, because this one I follow the pattern. This is one set, and you see the boxes here. I take this as one set, then two, then three. I made it into 3 sets. I divide the pattern into 3, so the number of yarn you use will be the same. So you do not need to finish one whole skein of yarn for one rectangle, but you need 4 rectangles to make the back. Or you can use this pattern to make something else. So now I'm going to make the foundation chain. I'm going to use purple as the foundation, and like this is the base and this is the pattern. Okay, so up to you. So now for the foundation chain, you make a knot. So after you make a knot, you do a chain of 75 plus 1. So you do a chain of 75. I'll come back to you once I have a 75 chain. Okay, I have a chain of 75. Now let me explain. Once you have a chain of 75, it depends whether you're left-handed or right-handed. I am right-handed. So when we crochet, we start from here. I'll crochet all the way up here, and now from here I'm gonna move back this way. So when I move back this way, I look at my chart, which is in my computer. I don't have the space here to put my laptop here. So if you look at the chart on the PDF file, it comes back. Now I'm coming back this way, so I follow the chart this way. So I'm gonna move the cursor to the other end and start reading the chart from left to right. And once I reach this end, I will start to read the chart from right to left, so that when you read this way, you won't get confused. It's like doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed, so long you reach this end, you start to read from this end on, and when you reach this end, you start to read from this end on. The pattern will still come out the same. It doesn't really matter. So now just follow. My foundation chain is here, so I make all the way until here. I have 75 stitches plus 1, because that one is for me to turn back. And when I turn back, I start from this side, so which means I'm going to read my chart, the PDF file. I'm going to read from this side to this side. So from this side to this side, if you have downloaded the PDF file, you can take a look. From this side to this side, the starting is, the first row of course is just purple, and you start from the one where I have the colored boxes. So here I'm gonna turn back, and like usual, you're gonna start from the second stitch from the hook, and I am going to start on the bum side, so that this side is easier to sew on to the next piece. So this is the V-shaped part. This is the bum side. You notice all this, oops, you notice all this bum, all this bum thing. So we're gonna work on this part instead of here. Okay, so this is my 75 is here, and I plus 1, so 76. So this is the hook, this is the first stitch from the hook, This is the second stitch from the hook. I turn it to the back. So I'm gonna work on this one. And the chart says the first stitch, the first box here is in purple, but the next box, the first box is in purple, but the next box is gonna be in the other color. So now I get ready the other color. Oops, it already got tangled before I start. So you just leave a long tail. We will hide the tail later on. You yarn over with the other color, with this peach color. Why? Because when you put it down, the first box would be in purple. And you see, the first box will be in purple. So now this one will have to occupy the next box, but this box, the bottom part here is purple. If I were to use this color here, then you will have that zigzag thing. So now I want it to be straight. So now if the bottom part is purple, I yarn over with purple. Then you see what will go on in the next stitch. It is purple, peach, and 4 more purple. So I am going to yarn over with purple. Now why do I do that? Because when you pull it down, you will see that this first box here, I have covered it up with purple, the second one with peach. Should I call it light brown? Maybe. So this light brown thing, but the bottom is still purple. That's why I still use purple for the bottom and light brown for the top. So now you can see it kind of like one straight line, which means I will have one row of purple at the end. On a rectangle, I will have one row of purple and I will have one line of this. So when I do the next row, no matter what is on top of this, I still use this color as the bottom and the top color as the one on the chart. Then it will create like a box in this color. So let me do a few rows for you to see so that you get used to it, especially for beginners. So I'm going to do 4 of this. So this is considered 1, even though you yarn over with purple just now, but now it's considered 1. You should count on the V shape on top. So this V shape here counts as 1. This is 1, this is 1. So when you look at the chart, you look at your V shape part, what color is it? Okay, I should have 4 in purple and 1 in the other color. Okay, so let's see. I have 1 purple here and 1 in light brown and then 4 in purple. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. When I put this down, this top part is going to be purple, just like stated here. But the next one is going to be this color. So which means now is the time to change color. So 1, 2, 3, the 4th one I would have to change color. You practice, or you can go to my other tapestry crochet. You practice on a smaller piece first. Once you're used to it, then you come back to this piece, because this rectangle is kind of huge. You should try my tapestry crochet square. You can make coffee, you know, the coffee cup, in just a square piece, and it's quite easy. So once you have completed that square piece, you can hang it or put it in frame it up, and that piece is good practice for you because it's just very small. Once you're used to that, then you come back here. Right, because this is a bit complicated as you go along, because sometimes, especially for beginners, you will get confused like, hey, when should I change it to? You can see the chart that it says it's blue or it's purple, but how I'm gonna change it, when I'm gonna change it, like this, 1 2 3 4, now I change. And because you need to yarn over, sorry, actually it's yarn under for all, you know, just to make it look nice. It's just my habit of saying yarn over, actually it's yarn under. So you go in here, and because the base is purple, I mean the yarn here is purple, you would have to use purple. I normally hold it this way, grab it and put through purple instead. Why? Because when you put through purple, you bend it down, the top is not purple anymore. Look at that. So I have 1 2 3 4, and now another 4. You have to get used to this first, as to how exactly should you change color before you start to learn how to look at the chart. Once you get the hang of this, it's pretty easy. So 1 2 3, actually the one here is already 4. 1 2 3 4. So which means I have to change color again. If we go according to the 1 2 3, okay, 4. Now you see, when I want to change color, the bottom part here is still purple, so I still have to grab a purple yarn first, because you need to have 2 strands to make 1 single crochet. So before I change color, make sure the bottom part here is still purple, then you pull it all the way from the other side. Make sure you don't pull too tight or too loose. If it's too loose, you will see a bulging thing here, which will not look nice. Like this, it will look neat. And the back here, you should pull to a point that this is kind of firm and not dropping, it's not drooping down. So it will look like this at the back. Then you're going to create purple in the next stitch, but the bottom part here is purple, which means I have to grab my purple yarn under and put through purple as well. So now you have 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. You can check the PDF file against what I just did here. Next, I would need only 2 purple. One, 2. I only need 2 purple. But if I do this, which means I have 3 purple, but I only need 2, which means this color here on the hook should be in this color instead of purple. So you let go of this. There are 2 ways of doing it. You can do this, which makes this kind of firm, then you won't be too loose or you won't pull too hard. And you do this, and you let go of this, then you have this nicely secured here. But I'm used to doing tapestry, so sometimes depending how far it is and whether my yarn is tight or not tight. So I'm used to it, so I change color like what I did just now without this loop. Okay, so let me show you. So now the next color should be purple. I'm still using the bum side. One, two, 1 and 2, count a 1 on the hook. This is the time to change your yarn and change it back. So instead of making that loop, you know like just now I showed you, you can actually do this, put in your hook. But if you think you can manage, you can hold your yarn nicely and it's not pulling too tight or too loose, then you don't have to do this. It depends. Okay, now let me look at the chart. It should be 4, 4, 2, 2, and 4, 4 again. 1, 2, 3. Note that I just did 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. If you count as single crochet, I did 1, 2, 3. But the one here on the hook, it's also purple. So which means I have 4 purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. So which is now I have to change color. But you can't change color with just one strand on your hook. You need to have 2. So you look at the bottom part here. If the bottom is purple, your yarn under the purple and put through the other color. Then you continue, and once in a while take a look at the back and see if all this is neat. If it's not, then redo now before it's too late. So I would check my work every row in case I got this wrong. In case of 4, I made it 3 or 5. If 1 is wrong, the whole row will be wrong. So you need a lot of patience, really a lot of patience for this. And you can't do this in a hurry. Do it slowly, concentrate, not in front of the TV. There was once I was watching something on YouTube because I was so engrossed with it, and I assumed that I know what I'm doing, and at the end of the 3rd or 4th row I found out I got it wrong and I have to redo. That's a lot of work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and yarn over. And you see the back because here, because I keep rotating between this and this and this and this, it got tangled. So once in a while, just turn your work, turn it around few times and you will get untangled. See, it got untangled. It goes back to normal. See? But it's still best if you have something to hold your yarn. If not, you place it in 2 different baskets to make sure it does not get tangled. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. The foundation part is always the slower part because you have to put through this. But once you are up the next few levels, it's easier because you're doing here on this V shape. If you know how to hold two color yarn on your finger, one on this finger and one on this finger, and go ahead. I've seen people doing this, but I just can't. I'm not used to it. So normally I would just let go and grab the other yarn. But if you can, go ahead. One, two, three, four. 1, 2. When you're doing this side here, it's easy because it's like normal crochet. All the yarns are at the back. Later when we turn back, everything is in front. It faces us. So the way we change color will be slightly different. Like now, it's easy because everything is at the back. It's like how we normally would crochet. So when the yarn is at the back, what we normally do is I would just dump this and grab this, and everything stays at the back. Everything is still at the back. Sometimes it also depends on how you grab the yarn. You grab it this way and this way and this way, the back won't get tangled. But if you grab it this way and this way and this way, the back will get tangled. Then of course sometimes we are too engrossed with the crochet. We never realize how we grab the yarn, so I just turn it around. Just make 1 or 2 turns and it will stay untangled. So I hope you get what I mean. I'll continue to do this until end of the row, and I'll come back to you and show you what happens in the next row. Okay, I've come to the last 4 stitches, 3 stitches actually. Let me show you. So you come to the last stitch here. You come to the last stitch here, you do your normal single crochet. Then before you turn your work and do the next row, you check your first row and see if you have covered the boxes correctly. Like this is purple, light brown, or peach, beige sorry, purple or beige, or then 4 and then 1 and then 4 and then 1 and then 2, 2. You know, you give it a count and see whether you got it correctly. If one of it is wrong, and the rest will be wrong. So now you come to this last row here. This is when we'll turn our work like normal, like usual, but I'm not going to chain 1. After I turn my work, I will go straight to this first stitch here and make a single crochet. And before you do that, you take a look and see what color is this box supposed to be. So now this box is mine. Now in this case it's purple, so I'll just continue to do purple. If not, you would have to change color like how we did previously, the first view. I'll show you once I reach the part where I have to change color on the first stitch. So this is straightforward. You just do single crochet like you normally do. Now the only difference is all this yarn face us. It's no longer at the back, so you cannot just throw it at the back and grab the other yarn and throw it at the back. Now you have to pull it to the front. Like here I have 4 in purple. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have to change it to this beige color here, but this yarn is in front. So this one you can't just throw it there. because if you throw it just like that, it will go to the back. You want it to come to the front, because this piece here is the back of that rectangle, the back of our project, and this is the front, so we cannot throw this to the front. So that's why after I'm done with this, I need to change color. I put it back to the front, and you use your last finger to kind of hold it first, and you change it to this color. Now before you change to this color, notice there's this one here. So happen this is of the same color. If it's all purple, you might miss this part, because most of the time, especially beginners, if you have less scowl, less stitch, is because you miss the stitch when you're changing color. So like now, I'm gonna change it to beige. 1 2 3 4 in purple. So I change it to this, and you take a look at the bottom one. Remember, it was supposed to be 1 2 3 4 and 1 in this beige color. So now you don't do here, you do here, because most people would miss this. Since you pull this all over, all the way from here, you pull this yarn here to make up to this color, change color here. This line here will somehow cover this stitch, and when you put through this stitch, make sure you put through 2 loops, not just one. We're not doing on the back loop, you're gonna make on both loops. If you're gonna do on one loop, if you accidentally did on one, it will show in front. It will show like one line in front. You know how when we do the front loop thing. So now same thing, you yarn under, then you take a look. The top I already changed color, the bottom is this color, that's why I yarn over with this same color. But when I go over, see, when I go over this way, which means I already done my part, that the top is this color, but the next one is in purple. So that's why now is the time to change color. Like I said, you can actually do this and put your hook and grab the purple and release this bubble. You can do that, but I find that it's kind of hassle, and this project requires to change color very often, so I'm not going to do that unless I accidentally crochet. Then I would just use the purple. Now let me show you the difference. Like now, if you want, because if you are not sure whether you can hold it nicely, because it will be too loose here or too tight here, so you can do this first, so that this 2 strand is not too loose or too tight. Then you grab this, I mean for beginners you can do this, and you put through this, grab the purple and get rid of this bubble, and continue to crochet. And same thing here, and you pull this back here, make sure you pull it to the very side, if not you will miss this stitch here. So when you're doing this, just take note that you have 4 purple here before you change color. So if you do not have 4 purple, which means you have done the wrong thing. So like here, I'm gonna pull this all the way from here to here, but I lazy to make that bubble thing. You can if you want. I just change it straight away because I've done this many times, so my stitch is not too tight or too loose, so I can do this. But if you are not very good at holding it and it comes out too loose or too tight, then you do the bubble one, the bubble thing. So once you have this, the bottom is the same color. So now you're going to change it back to purple. So if you want to do the bubble thing, you just yarn over first, put it to the back, I mean the front, then you change color, because since you are not used to holding it nicely, and you change color, then you release the bubble. So after you release the bubble, make sure this one comes very near here, so that you can see there's one more stitch here. Most people would miss the stitch right after they change color. Now you see the back, check out the back, make sure it does not get tangled too much. So now change it back to purple. Once you get the hang of it, you won't be looking at how to change color, whether to make the bubble or not to make the bubble. You would be looking at the chart to see what is your next color. This is how I change color without the bubble thing. Let me show you a few more rounds. I pull this to the back. Make sure I use my small finger to hold it. And you put through this and grab from here, bring it down. I would say this project is more for the intermediate. If you're really very beginner, I would advise you to go and try out my crochet square before you start this. At least crochet square is a very small piece, and you can practice first before you come and do this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, sometimes there are people who, when they let go of this yarn, here becomes like this, because they are not used to holding so many stops and grab this and pull this, and so this become like this. So that's why it's kind of difficult to control it. You just make a bubble. You make this bubble, pull it to the back, make sure it's not in the way so that you can still see the next stitch. You grab this yarn, you use your nail or finger to hold this first so that you can grab it easily. Then you release this bubble. Then it will not be too loose or too tight. But if you can't, I will just do this. So same thing, every row, make sure you check your, oh, did I, okay. So you see, this is too tight, wait, too short. Let me get this, make sure this is in the front. If it's not in the front, you will notice there's a weird looking shape later on. So once you're done with this, once you're at the end of the row, okay, all this, if it's drooping or dropping, don't really bother, because I'm gonna join this to another part and form it into a bag, and you won't be able to see all this. All this will be hidden inside. So once you're done, always turn it to the right side and check your work. Check it against your PDF file and see if it's correct. Is it 1 2 3 4, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4, or is it 1 2 3? And then you see like, hey, one is missing. You see, when we do this, the box here is complete. We grab one from here and create one on top, so this box is complete. Like you see, this purple part is complete. So we're gonna have one row of purple here. So let me show you for the last few times, then I go back to the front and we'll see what kind of problem you might face. You can put in the comment section if you face any problem. But all this needs lots of practice, you know, like kind of trial and error thing. Because if you were to pull too tight, you know, sometimes I do while I'm watching TV or podcasts, and I forgot. I saw that it looks kind of loose and I give it a pull, and that's it. Once you give it a pull, oops, bring this to the back. Now if you leave it in front and you continue to do this, let me show you what will happen. Let's say you forgot that this is supposed to be in front, you left it at the back, and you continue to do this, and later you need to change color and you pull it back here, and then suddenly everything goes to the back and your stitch looks like this, which means now the front will start to look like the back, where all these lines, you know, you pull all the way from here to here, here to here, and this is what happened. This is when your yarn, you accidentally throw it to the back. You think that it belongs to the back. So now how you know whether this is the back or the front? Just look at the mess here. You see this mess here where you're going to pull yarns from all the way here to here, and then here to here. It looks like a mess. So this is the back. This is the front, because it has nice boxes. Only this box is filled up and this box is filled up. So undo. You have to undo this so that this one, you won't create a mess. So that's why check your work every now and then, especially before you start a new row. So make sure all this is facing you before you start to change color, because the other row we got so used to throwing it at the back, right? We just dump it at the back. So now bring it to the front. So anything that's in to the front is a little bit more hassle. Say like this, then you have to hold it in front. Make sure it goes way inside, then you can see this stitch. If you do not put it too in front, this covers this, and you will think that there's no stitch here, and you go straight to the next, and you will skip one and you will miss a stitch. That's why when you are doing this, take note that, like for example now, my purple, it's on top of the purple. This row is exactly the same as the previous row. The placing of the color is exactly the same. So if I have 4 purple here, like here, before you start to crochet, you see there are 4 purples here. You make sure when you do this, you also have 4 purple. Like after I change color, you should have 4 purple here. So you make sure you have 4. One, 2, 3, when I'm doing it this way, when it's facing the front, it gets tangled easily. So when I want to entangle this part here, always use a marker to stop this part first. Then you turn it around. There, it's not tangled anymore. Then you continue. And once you're at the end of the row, make sure you turn it right side, turn it back to the right side, and take a look and see if there's any part that you did wrongly. Like maybe one of it you accidentally dump the yarn to the back and you see a strand here. So I'll come back to you once I'm at the next row. I'll show you at least 5 or 6 rows so that I'll see which row that has kind of problem, like the last stitch, how you change color, become the next color. Okay, so now I'll just continue until this is row 2. I mean, if you want to count from the changing color point, this is row 2, because row 1 is just a foundation chain. This first row is just a foundation chain and there's no change of color. So this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, I've come to the end of the row. Even though this is the end, you should not leave this at the back. You should still push it to the front. Hold it with your hand. You yarn over the purple and make sure you have the same number of stitches, the right number of stitches every row. So once you reach this end here, turn to the back and check the PDF file and see if this is the right thing, whether you have the same number of stitches every row. In order to know whether you have the same number of stitches every row, you just make sure that all these like 4, 3, 4, 1, it has to be the same. And in the end, what is the balance? Is it purple or this color? So what is the end color for this side on the left? And when you end here, and you make sure what is on the right side of this corner here. Is it purple or is it the other way around? So from here we have reached this side. You check and see if all this is correct. So if it's correct, then we proceed to the next row. The next row I should have 5 purple, so it's supposed to be like this. Then I turn the work. No need to chain 1, so you just put your hook onto the first stitch. Always remember this first stitch because chances of mistake is also at this first stitch here. This is the stitch that most people would forget. So this is 1 stitch. I must have 5 in purple. So in order to get this purple, purple, purple and purple, this one, the bottom here, I should change color. So here when I change color, I just hold it with my other finger like this and just go grab the yarn and still put through in purple like this. And I carry on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I should have 3 color in this beige here. It should be 1, 2, 3. This is like in the middle of this 3, so I should have 1, 2, 3. If you're 1, 2, 3, this is not in the middle, that means you have missed out something over this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now change color. But the bottom part here is still purple. So you just hold it like this if you can. Just hold it with this finger and put it through. I just hold it with this 2 finger here. I mean, depending how comfortable are you with holding the yarn, maybe you have a better way of doing it. Okay, once I'm this side, remember the top is 3 in beige, so 1, 2, 3, this is correct, but the next one is purple, so which means now I should change it to purple. But before I change it, the bottom is purple, so which means I have to yarn over or yarn under the purple and still put through in purple. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same, 1, 2, 3. I pull it up with the other 2 fingers. 4 and 5. Then I put through with this. I would curl this around my finger and use this purple with the other 2 finger here, these 2 finger, and just grab it like this. Then you have 1, 2, then I let go of the beige color and come back to purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, if you're still not used to changing colors like this, and you change color and you find that, you know, here it's a bit loose or you're not comfortable, you can still do the bubble thing. You know, you yarn over with the purple, leave it there, and then you put through and you do this. Change color and you pull this bubble away. This is one way. Or like what I would do, oh yeah, this is supposed to be purple, sorry. It's the next one. So here I just drop the purple and continue with the other one. So while I'm doing this hand does not move, so that's why these two did not become like too loose. So it depends on you. How often do you crochet? How experienced are you in holding a crochet hook, and how do you handle your yarn? I mean, what about your normal amigurumi? Is it tight? Is it too loose? Because if it comes out like this, you see, it's very easy to crochet. So when I go to the back, I come back to the front. When you put your hook in, it goes freely. See? This is not too tight. But sometimes when I am busy watching a podcast or something, I might accidentally pull too much and I would have a hard time putting through, especially when I'm doing it this side. Because this side, the V shape faces the other side, which means when I hook it, I have to pick up both loops. I mean, if it's just single crochet, I would just do this and this and this is easy. But when you want to change color, you want to pull this from the other end to this end to change color and come back and put this behind, I mean in front of you, that's another story. So it's a little bit difficult. So while I'm pulling it, somehow make the other stitch a bit tight. So normally this happens when I'm like halfway through. When there are more, when the pattern comes more. This is not so much. If you look at the PDF file, the one in the middle is the tedious one. More colors. So here I just want to, I just count how many stitches how many colors, how many purples I need, and my finger would just automatically grab the correct yarn. Okay, so it depends on how comfortable are you and how you like to hold your yarn. You like to curl it around your finger, or like me, I can just grab it with my other two fingers. Or do you want to drop this and take this and then drop it back and take this? I used to do that. I used to drop this and take that and drop that and take this. And now I'm kind of used to it after so many tapestry crochet. My brain is kind of wired, like I can read the chart kind of fast. Even now when I'm talking to you, my fingers can automatically just pick up the color that I want. When, you see, I know when to drop which color and when to pick up which color with my other two fingers. So this row, there's nothing much. I don't think you will have any difficulty in this row. I will continue to do this until I come to a row that I think many would make mistake, and I'll come back to you. So please do check your work at every single row. Check first before you start a new row. If not, if you have mistakes and you realize it like 7 rows away or 6 rows away, it's kind of difficult to open back, unless you're not that you know, you don't really mind a small mistake here, because I'm quite a perfectionist. I want my pattern to be the exact same. Unless if I have a tiny mistake which I didn't realize, then I wouldn't know, right? So like this, even if you pull too tight, this white would also disappear. Or if you didn't pull this tight enough at the back, it might also appear around here. That's why when I do this, when I bring the purple yarn, I mean when I start to crochet with this color, I do not bring along the other color. See, I do not bring along the other color. I just crochet this color and I leave this one here. When I want this here, I will just pull it all the way here, because if you bring it along, chances of it appearing here, it will not appear a lot, but one dot here and one dot here, and it makes the pattern not perfect. Unlike here now, I did not bring it along. You can very clearly see like this whole patch here is purple. I mean, this one's supposed to be like this, like kind of T-shape, you know, it's very obvious. But if you have dot 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 of another color over here, then it doesn't look nice anymore. So that's why I do not bring my yarn along when I crochet. I just leave it there and I just pull it over when I need it. Anyway, with this pattern, you need the color quite near, so you do not need to pull like from all the way from the other side. It's just here. It's just 3 stitches away or 4 stitches away, so it's still fine. So I'll come back to you once I'm at the row that I think most would be in trouble, and I'll show you what are the difficulties in that row. Okay, now I've come to this end here. So before I turn the work, you must remember that when it's facing the right side up, you have come to this end here, which means when you look at the PDF file, you look at the diagram, you look from this side, the right side, towards there. Now I'm gonna flip it over. It looks as if it's from the left to the right. It's always the left to the right, right? I mean, I'm a right-hander. So once you finish, you have to tell yourself like which side should you be looking at, from the right to the left or the left to the right. Like here, this is the right side up. I've done all the way from there to here. So now here I'm going to do all the way there, so it's from the right to the left, even though I turn my work. Okay, so this is one of the mistakes that people make. Or you can print out a PDF file and use a pencil or something to mark it, because I am lazy to print, so I just look at the laptop and I just crochet from the laptop itself. So this row, this is where most people would make the mistake, especially if you realize that this last stitch here, this yarn, it's from here, it stops here, whereas the purple stops here. Okay, so now when I turn, I only need 1 purple, 3 in beige, 1 2 3, and then purple. So before you do anything, just tell yourself that the purple will be here, there will be 3 in gap here, and the next purple have to be in between here, in the middle of this 3, and the next one you have 1 here, you have this beige here, 1 more should be here, 1 more here, and 1 more in the middle. So while you're doing it and when you count your number of stitches and you miss this middle part, like for example, you're supposed to do purple and then this beige color, beige, or light brown, then it comes to purple. But instead of 1 2 3, yours is 1 2 3, which means your purple land here, which also tells you that you have missed 1 of the stitch here. So before you start, take a look at it first. You should have 3 stitch here and 3 stitch here. You're supposed to do 1 purple here, then there's a 3 gap here. The next purple have to land in the middle of this set here, this set of 3 here. Your purple should land in the middle here. So let's try. This row is also a row where I made a lot of mistakes the first time round. Then I realized I didn't really see where it should land, and I just count 1 3 1 3 1 3, and it went way off. So now don't forget to go to this first stitch here, this very first stitch. There's no chain 1, this is very end, and this is how we turn the work. You go to this first stitch here. Now we have to change color. Bring this yarn over here, get one of your finger to hold on to it, then you yarn over this one, change it. Now when you change the color, can you see you're pulling it all the way from here to here? So chances of you missing this stitch or this stitch is very high, or even this stitch. So remember, just now we have 3 stitches here, 1 2 3, and this is in purple. So now I'm gonna drop this. It's more tedious over this side. because you can't just drop it like what we did in front. The front is easy. So now I'm gonna change it. I need to yarn over with purple because the bottom here it's purple. Here it's purple. So when you want to yarn over or yarn under, in this case, you have to push your yarn towards this side. You cannot do this and this. You can't do this. You have to push your yarn towards this side. Put your hook in here. Then you yarn under. If not, you can't yarn under. This is the time when I will be pulling it a bit because just now it went way off. So a bit of pulling here and there. Some of the stitches here will be a little bit tight when I do the next row. So normally this is the row that gives me problem. So now I have to drop this because it's not in purple color, but the bottom part is, so no choice, I have to yarn under the blue purple but put through with the beige. Now again, there's one more purple here. Drop the purple, put it to the side here. Remember I told you the next purple should be right in the middle here. Can you see there's one more stitch here? Because if this one lands here, you will miss this stitch and go straight to this stitch. So that's why this one have to go way in, or memorize it. Remember that you did 3 purple. By right there are 3 purple here at the bottom. You fill up that 3 space. Now I'm gonna fill up this 3. So we're gonna fill this up with this color, change it back to purple. Now this purple lands on top here in the middle, here in this middle, but the bottom part is not purple, so we have to yarn under this yarn, but put through with the beige. Why? Because the purple is on top. Then again, see, it's a bit tight already, because when we are doing this side and when we change color, this one, the V shape points to the front. So when we are pulling it a bit, when we change color, so the tightness is not the same. It's not like when we crochet, single crochet, single crochet, no changing of colors. Your tightness will be the same. But when you change color, because we see that it's a bit loose and we pull a bit, so it becomes too tight. So now it should be 1. This is the most tedious part. Oh no, not most tedious. There's one more row which change color even more frequent. This is the time when the yarn at the back here will get tangled very fast. Let me see, 1 1 2 3, 1 1 2 3. So one purple, which is very near to this beige here. Always pull your yarn very near so that you won't miss this stitch. Sometimes it's just hard to know by looking at this. It's very hard to understand it until you try it. really trial and error, hands-on, and you will feel it's like, oh yeah, it pulls. You know, sometimes when you look at tutorial video, it's like, whoa, it's so easy. But when you do it, it's like, how did that happen? How come I could not pull? How come it's so tight? That's why it's always, you know, you really have to hands-on. That's why I said this project is not for those really beginners. You have to try at least 1 or 2 other tapestry crochet before you start this one, because this one change color way more often than the other. So there it goes. No doubt it looks easy. I mean, like, it's just 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3. But if you are going to memorize that way, chances of making mistake is very high. Why? Because if you skip one, then you would just continually read 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3, and it didn't land here. Like I say, if you come to this part, your purple should land in the middle here. If you at this part where there's 2 beige color here, your purple should land here in the middle here and here. But if you did not take note of this and you continue to count 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3, and in the end you will notice your ending is different from the PDF file. And also, once you are done, please turn your work the right side up and see if you can see that pattern. Can you see this diagram starts to form? You compare this diagram to the PDF file and you see like there's this diagram forming, like this is a shape here, like a diamond shape here, and this is like the one line without the diamond, the start of a new diamond at the bottom, but it's invisible, and then there's a big diamond here. So that's how I look at it every row. Right after I finish every row, I would turn to the right side and take a look here and see if I have accidentally moved one strand here and pull it up like this. It is very obvious that this is wrong because it's supposed to go to the back. I hope you get what I mean. So I'll continue to do this. It looks easy, but for beginners it is not. All you have to do is just 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 1 2 3, and you make sure you know where your purple lands. There's only one stitch of purple here, but where does it land? If it's wrong, you do not have to open up the whole thing. You just go for the part that you change color. It's very obvious. It's always the one next to the changing of color. You always miss that one. So it's either this one or this one or this one, the part where you change color. Because once you change color, your yarn falls here, you kind of cover up this stitch here, and you assume the next stitch is this one and not this one. Why? Because it's covered up like this. Whereas when you're here, you drop everything to the back. The V shape is very obvious to you in front. Nothing interferes, and you know that this is one stitch, this two, this is the next stitch, this is the next stitch. See, it's very obvious. But when you're here like this, you might not be able to figure out where is the next stitch. This is the next stitch, not this. So I'll continue with this row. I will come back to you in the next 1 or 2 rows and see what are the difficulties that you might face while you're doing this. If you have any other problem that you need help, you can always PM me or DM me or put in the comment section. I will try and help you as much as I can. Okay, this is the end of the row, and I would need purple, so I put through purple instead of this beige color. Now I turn it around. I have checked my work. So now the next row, I'm supposed to have 5 purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this beige color should be in the middle here. 1, 2, 3. So here I have purple on my hook, but the bottom part is not purple. So the first stitch here, you should put your hook here and pull up the other yarn. Oops. Now this is the tricky part because I'm gonna pull it up from this side. It's not over there, it's over here on the right, so it's kind of difficult to yarn under, so just yarn over. And purple, 2, and this is purple, 3, 4, and 5. See, it's way easier when it's facing the right side. And now, oops, change color. So this is 1, 2, and 3, and change it back. So all I did is just use these 2 fingers to hold up the other color, and I do not even have to drop this. I just hold this. So do it at your convenience. I mean, whichever you think it's convenient to you. You do not have to follow my way. It's just that I find this is easier. So once I pick this up from here, I do not have to remove this so often. But when you're at the other side, the back, it's kind of difficult to do this. So this row overall is kind of easy. And all you have to do is make sure this part here, the first stitch, how you're gonna pull the other color before you change it to purple. So check your, can you see the diagram is taking shape? So I'll come back to you to, I'm not sure how many rows from now. I'll just see which part that I think most people will face a problem, and I'll show you how it should be done. Okay, if you go according to the PDF file, this is the last row, which means after this row you do not need to change color, but technically you do have to change color. Even though this last row I'm going to make 1 row of purple as the border, I still need this color. I'll show you later. So for this piece, for all my rectangle piece, the 4 piece, I have here that looks like a border. Here I only make 1 row of purple as border, so now I'm going to make only 1 row of purple here, whereas this side there's no border. See, it kind of like the pattern goes all the way to the edge. So up to you. If you think you want to make a border, you want to make purple here, maybe you want to make single crochet all around, I'm not sure. Or the sides here, if you think you want the border to be thicker instead of just 1 row, then maybe you should do the same for the bottom here. So since the bottom here I only did 1 row of purple, so I'm going to do only 1 here as well, so at least it looks the same. So now I'm going to show you what the real last row look like. This is the row where I'm going to do purple, all around the whole row. And this is the balance. You can see this is the balance yarn. You still have this much left. So I would say for this rectangle I did use about 3/4 of it, still 1/4 of it. Okay, now let me show you the last row. This last row means I'm going to do purple the whole stretch. Okay, first it's gonna be this way. Then you turn your work. Oops, wait, let me bring this purple over. It goes like, for example, you're doing this and you're holding it like this, right? Now you turn your work and you're gonna do purple all the way. Make sure you have the same number of stitches, because the place where you change color, chances of skipping or missing one is very high. So when you come to this part here, you still have to do this, but the top part is always purple. You see, you will have one row of purple. So you come to this, you still need to change color. Oops, sorry. What did I just do? Okay, wait. Let me complete this single crochet. Got too excited that this is the last row. So did you come this far? Did you reach this far? Or you still haven't decided whether you should start this project or not? Give it a try. Take up the challenge. Once in a while we have to do something wild, something that you have never done before. So it's gonna look like this. The whole stretch will be purple and the front it will look like this. It's like this diagram is here, and then you have one line of purple. So you just continue. The minute you see this, oops, let me get it over this side. The minute you see this, you still change color, and then you make sure the rest is purple. So I'll come back to you once I'm at the end of the row. I just want to show you how this last row looked like and how you should do it. So after this row, if you think you still want to do another few rows, go ahead and just make another few rows of purple. Who knows, maybe you just want the batik in the middle and the rest are all plain colors. That would work too. Okay, this is my balance yarn. I'm not sure why this is less than this. Maybe the way they roll it, because when I bought this is the same weight. Okay, now I reached the last stitch here. So after you do the last single crochet here, just chain one, pull tight, make a knot. You're gonna cut this yarn. Don't cut too close. Let me get a tapestry needle. So now gonna weave it in here and hide it inside, because I'm gonna turn this into a bag. So I'm gonna make a bag lining inside the bag, and all this will be hidden. Even the bag look quite cute, right? Look kind of nice. Make sure you do that for all the corners. I have tails here and there, you know, from the beginning, the starting of when we change color. So try and bring it to the middle and make sure it does not show here in front. Just bring it to the inside so that when I stitch this up as a bag and I'm gonna put bag lining, all this will be covered. Okay, one last one here. This is the start of the foundation chain, so I normally do not cut until the very end. I would just weave it in so that it will be more secure. If you want, you can weave it in more to the middle like this. And this is how the back portion look like, and this is how the front portion look like. So this is the lighter color, and this is the darker color one. So which do you prefer? And which is the one that you're making? Or are you gonna follow my footsteps to make into two types? So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned because I'm gonna turn all these 4 pieces into a bag. Yeah, do share your complete tapestry rectangle in the comment section. I would love to see your version of the batik. Maybe you have a different color combination which looks lovely. So do put in the comment section. I'll look forward to seeing you in my